Klapdorp, it's about an urban social housing project with 21 apartments, a central courtyard, and an underground car park. It's completed in 2019. The Klapdorp site was once home to a 17th century convent, but over the years it had become increasingly built up through the systematic addition of various rear extensions. These lacked spatial quality. The social housing company Vande commissioned us after winning a competition to create a social housing project for the block. This would tackle the urban cancer within the neighborhood. We restored the original building arrangement of the 17th century convent and, as a reference to it, designed a central courtyard that connects the 4 residential volumes. The collective outdoor space, which is also the heart of the project, is transparent and square in shape, yet radiates a closed and quiet atmosphere. A grey concrete plinth forms the basis of the facade design. The facade is made up of a yellow-colored brick with accents in red coping stones. The joints are executed tone on tone to match the brickwork. The red color of the accent bricks is repeated as a doorway indicator, while red boxes are incorporated with an elegant detailing. We opted to create an open space. The inner courtyard not only serves as a circulation and orientation point, but also as a pleasant relaxation area for the residents. Next project is the Moortel Life Work Unit in Antwerp. It's about a compact urban building with 4 life work units and a commercial space on ground floor. It's completed in 2020. Building on this corner plot helped trigger the revaluation of the street. The plot had been hidden behind a fence for more than 30 years and was an urban cancer in the neighborhood. With this corner building, the client opted for a well-considered densification of the city. In terms of plan and facade, Moortel fits within the context of the neighborhood, but at the same time, it has a neutral and generic character. It also stands out for being a corner building with a powerful facade within. The facade is composed of story-high white prefabricated concrete frames with a horizontal articulation every floor. This latter element is not continued at the top level, where the concrete frames have a slight inclination, a reference to the mansarde roofs in the surrounding area. The concrete frame elements fulfill several functions. They are simultaneously the supporting structure and finished facade of the building. The structure explicitly located on the outside of the protected volume forms so the exoskeleton of the building. Our structure is finishing principle restricts the number of materials used, which in turn reduces the building's environmental impact and increases flexibility of use. The less interior finishing the greater the increase in the building's robustness and lifespan. Moreover, this building technique has a positive impact on the budget. We focus on the essentials so that targeted investments can be made in the items that all too often become extras. The latter were taken as the starting point for this project, such as geothermal energy and a performant ventilation system. This project is the nursery school for Saverus College in Borgerhout. It's a district in Antwerp. It's about a nursery school with with 11 classes and a gym. It's an expansion with adjacent plots of an existing school and completed in 2019. The school's new main entrance on Saverius Street is marked by an open facade that acts as the new school gate, offering a view into the playground. The gate is easy for preschoolers and visitors to identify and lies within the field of vision of the old school gate. We designed an L-shaped building extending from one street to the other. A long corridor runs through the building, connecting all the spaces. To one side of the corridor, courtyard gardens allow plenty of light into the building and enable the children to watch the seasons unfold. The entire volume is single story, apart from the part on the Stedenbrug, where the neighborhood's required cornice height has been respected. By positioning the gym on the top floor, we effect maximal visibility from the street. The administrative offices and staff room are located beneath the gym on level 2. The facade has a rational and regular structure. It follows the building's functional components and renders them visible. We have opted for a material palette made up of pale colors, white glazed brick and polished gray speckled precast concrete. The facade on Saverius Street has been constructed from side cast concrete. Your turn, Niklaas.
Okay, next one is Social Service Center 2016 Central Antwerp. It's a competition we recently won, and it's an urban new build and renovation project for the city of Antwerp. It has Antwerp's social service department, including 4,000 square meters of office space, and it should be completed. You've got agrees in the 2023. The project is located on an L-shaped site adjacent to 2 streets. Renovation and reorganization along one street with new build along the other. An urban inner corner is created via the historically valuable market hall. For the renovated volume, we opted for a strategy of maximum preservation and respectful treatment of the existing structure. A patio, which introduces daylight, is created through a cutout in the former market hall. New windows are inserted in the outer walls, transparent where possible, translucent where necessary, always with respect for the privacy of the neighbors. The ground floor is transformed into an open reception and waiting area. After registration, the visitor will be welcomed in the former market hall before following a logical circulation route for the different types of service provision. The green areas with patio and semi-public garden are publicly accessible during the day. There's also an art integration by Philippe Dujardin. It's an intervention where at precise chosen spots in the public space, various marble fragments are integrated into the floor, on the walls, and in the fixed furniture. The next project is Koning Noord. Koning Noord is an urban residential project with 26 apartments, child daycare center, and offices in the very dense north part of Antwerp. It was completed in 2019. We designed 2 volumes in raw concrete and connected them with a continuous plinth around an inner garden. The roof and this plinth is used as an intensive green roof and forms, in addition to the inner garden, a second horizontal green layer. The raw grey concrete is finished with gold-colored anodized elements in the terraces, the windows, the doors, and the balustrades. There are 4 types of flats per floor, which are repeated on each level. The maximum repetition of the typological plan has many technical advantages and increases the logic and thus the affordability of the design. Each flat has 2 large windows. By grouping the open and closed facade surfaces, the concrete could be cast on site using plank formwork, traditionally an expensive construction method, while remaining feasible within the strict financial outlines of this project. The window openings and terraces, which are visible positions below each other, create a neutral architecture. Finally, the structure was designed to allow sufficient flexibility for possible future changes in the layout of the flats. Inside, we applied the structure as finishing principle that is characteristic for the work of META. In other words, detailing the carcass with care. Kai 37. Kai 37 is an urban residential project with 75 apartments, 460 square meters of offices, and 320 square meters of commercial space. It's all been completed in 2017. The new city district, the former harbor city, has a kind of regular street pattern and exceptional locations on the peninsula. The former harbor district and the new city district is a unique seat within Antwerp's urban fabric. With Kai 37, the historic evolution of the building block pattern within het eilandje is completed and the street pattern is extended right up the quayside. The public space has also been completely renewed. We opted to use a concrete outer structure or exoskeleton for this passive building. The finished exterior is composed of gray-green prefabricated concrete facade frames that also form the supporting structure of the building. The specific profiling of these frames make it possible to position the floor plates in a thermally interrupted manner. This building method not only ensures maximum flexibility for the interior layout, but also proves to be very quick and efficient in execution. It's a version of META's structural work as finishing work. The context, position, and visibility and the ensemble required a specific approach to the materiality of the facade. The underlying grid creates an indirect uniformity. Mineral materials with subtle colors nuance and change the idea of the ensemble. For example, the glass facade cladding, prefabricated concrete elements, and glass tiles were all elaborated in shades of green. This color was even extended to the masonry work on the facade. The project is the result of an intensive collaboration between 4 offices. META, Office Kersteheers David van Severen, NOA, and the Velde Vinctaieux. So it was also the result of a competition. A series of common principles were established and honored, including the decision to use a glassed or reflective finish for the exterior and an agreement about how the facade grid would be organized. Moreover, the team consulted the designers of the North building block and agreed that West 8 could design the entire courtyard. House Deboutte. In 1999, I designed my own house together with Niklaas Deboutte. It's located in a quiet residential street in the neighborhood of St. Andries, which connects the center of Antwerp with the south area. In 2018, 16 years later, after the original completion, an extra floor was added to the property. The original design was determined by the pre-existing conditions of the plot. The compact volume filled the void between the 2 adjacent buildings, one of which has been designed by us in 1996. It's the one on the left. Given the ratio of the high boundary walls to the limit with the width of the plot, it was decided to raise the urban garden so that it gained more light. This was also the reason why a split level principle was applied within the house. The simple floor plan is based on a functional lateral strip that organizes both plumbing and circulation. The remaining space is entirely reserved for eating, working, relaxing, sleeping. On the street side, a wide door gives access to an entrance that provides a parking space for motorcycles and bicycles. Elevated by a half floor is a living space that clearly reveals the split level system. This area is conceived as a large open space with cooking, dining and seating areas. The kitchen and dining facilities are on the garden side, adjacent to the terrace of the modest city garden. The seating area is half a level higher, which results in a more intimate atmosphere due to the lower ceiling height. The difference in level is horizontally bound via a single continuous unit in plywood. The upper floor initially contains 2 bedrooms, one on the street side and one on the garden side, separated by a centrally positioned bathroom. Due to the simple design of the plan, the new floor that was added in 2018 was constructed by only making limited interventions. The second floor bedroom on the street side transforms into a home office, while the newly added third floor is an exact replica of the original bedroom floor, in other words, 2 bedrooms and a bathroom in between. The entire house is built according to META structural work is finishing work principle. Because there are fewer finishing layers and therefore less materials used, this method implies a more economical construction process.
At Brickworks Vande Moortel, we make high-quality bricks, slips and clay pavers in unique colors and sizes. To support architects around Europe and the UK, we created a brand new high-end brick lab, housing the latest in ceramic innovations. Built on more than 150 years of experience, we bring together tradition with the architecture of tomorrow. Every brick, slip and clay paver in our brick lab is part of a research and development program creating new knowledge and insights. Working together with architects, we can thus reach higher levels of sustainability, quality and circular solutions, combining them with the highest design standards of today. All this without losing our passion that we would love to share with you.